And I want you to make a ton of noise for Alyssa Rosen. Another Rosen.
That's so funny that we have the same last name. Did I raise you? Are you one of my children? Seriously. You look very familiar. Anyway. I'm glad I'm doing this because I forget that I'm alive sometimes, and then I go to do a show and my heart starts beating and I'm like, yes, I'm alive. So anyway, it's hard to believe that I was once young and naive, but I really, really was. And it was my junior year of college. I decided that my friend and I should study in London our second semester junior year. So I talked her into applying, and we got into the program. We went to London, and we thought we were so like chic, European, whatever. We studied there, and our first break, we made plans to go to Paris. Now, all my life, I dreamed about Paris. I actually took French in high school, and I know which way is the library and all of that. Où est la bibliothèque? And I was like, oh my God. And I loved French pastry my whole life. I always liked Napoleon's, anything with that rich custard and crepes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. And plus, we were working on what we called the junior 20. You know, the freshman 15? We gained 15. We were like the junior. We would gain 20 pounds. We didn't care about our bodies. It was a different time. So, food and like pot and like fun, like your body, really. So, anyway, we planned our trip to Paris, and we took a hovercraft to Calais. And when we got to Calais, you had to take the subway into Paris, the metro, excuse me. So I was very innocent and kind of naive, and also from New Jersey. So, like, what did I know from like a crowded subway? I was in a car my whole life, and. So we got on this really crowded train. I mean, people were like up against you, and I wasn't even used to that. And I just arrived, and this guy on my left side keeps rubbing my leg, and I'm like freaking out, but like, I don't even know what to do. Do you scream? What do you do? He's rubbing my leg, and I'm like moving and scared and want to cry. And finally, the train stops, and we're in Paris, and I get off the train, and I noticed something very weird. Like, my pocketbook was way lighter than it was before. And oh boy, my wallet was stolen with all of my $45 that I had saved for the weekend in Paris. Truthfully, I'm not going to tell you how long ago it was, but imagine $45 for the weekend. It was a long time. So my girlfriend, and my passport was there. I was like, oh my God, my passport. Okay, I got my passport. So my girlfriend, let me just tell you a little bit about my girlfriend. She checked her pocketbook. Her wallet was there. Valerie was the most beautiful girl in all of my whole entire college experience, and she was my best friend. Most girls might think that could be a problem, like competition, but for me, baby, that was cool, because I got all the leftovers. It was great. Well, the guys were trying, they couldn't all have her, so I got the yeah, it was perfect. So here we are in Paris, and we look at each other and we're like, okay, we're here for 2 days with $45. What are we going to do? And that's when the French language came in. Okay, I'm going to find out where the police station is. And I said to someone, où est la station de police? And they were like, all right, that didn't work. So I went to the American embassy because I'm an American and somebody's got to give me some money. I mean, really. I got to eat in Paris. Are you kidding? So we rang the doorbell of the embassy, and I think it was closed. So the Marine opened the door and opened it and said, I had my money stolen, and he basically said, we can't really help you. Really? Okay. So we decided that we'd make the best of it anyway, and maybe eat a little less, and certainly not buy any of that fancy perfume. Okay, so the weekend wore on, and we had a nice, a little bit of a crepe and some croissants and whatnot. Well, Sunday morning we wake up, and I was going on to Brussels to visit my cousin, and she was going back to London, Valerie. So that morning, we ended up finding Montmartre. And I think we just spent a little too much time looking at stuff, or maybe we ate something. Whatever we did wrong when we got to the train station, her train had left the station. Really? We were flipped out. Oh my God! You mean you can't leave and I've got a train in like 10 minutes, and how could I leave her? I would never have left her. I mean, she after all paid for my whole time in Paris. So I remember putting the suitcase down, and I still have the picture. I had someone take a picture of the two of us together crying on our suitcases because we did not know what the fuck to do next. By the way, I forgot this one detail. My father gave me an American Express card for emergencies that got stolen. So that wasn't going to happen. So we took the train back into Paris. We had another night with nowhere to stay and very, very little money. And we went to this park near the Eiffel Tower, and we sat on a bench, and we looked at each other and said, we may actually have to sleep on this bench tonight. It really upset us. We were 20, we were naive, and we couldn't even imagine sleeping on a bench. So what we did was we walked to a cafe, and I guess with little money we had, we must have had something to drink. And we saw these two men, and they were American, and they came over, because Valerie was there, of course, and started chatting with us, and they were from the Midwest, and they were like insurance salesmen or some kind of job, and we told our sad story, and one of them said, that's no problem. I have a suite, and you can stay in my room. I have an extra bed. And we went, great. So the two of us grabbed our suitcases and dragged them up the stairs of the Paris Hilton, where all these fancy people were all waiting for cabs and whatnot. We were like, uh-oh. And the lovely man left us in his room and not only said, and you can order something if you'd like. And I went, yes. And my girlfriend said, stop. And they left, and there we were in the room all night, having some wine, a little cheese, having a lovely night, watching some TV. And it was great, and we decided to go to the twin bed that we were both going to sleep in, which was quite small. Turned off the light. No sooner did we turn that light off and get in that bed than the drunk salesman came back. Valerie was on the outside. We didn't know we had to prepare this. And he came over and he was going, Valerie, come into my bed. Come into my bed. And I thought I was going to die. We were wide awake. I had my face pressed into the pillow so hard. How could I laugh at the guy who was giving us a place to live? And he could throw us into the street. So it's sort of the weird space between being thrown out of a hotel room and laughing at an asshole. I don't know. It never happened to me again. But nonetheless, her and I pressed our feet against each other so hard, and she kept pretending she was sleeping, going, and he was, Valerie, come into my bed. Come on. He tried so many different ways of saying it, too. It went on for so long, it felt like 10 minutes, maybe it was 2. Anyway, he went back to his bed, and from his bed, he was still saying, Valerie, Valerie, like she was going to change her mind or wake up and go, oh, I want to sleep with an older man who's ugly. Anyway, Paris will never be the same for me. And no, I have not been back, but I will be one day. Thank you.
Rosen and Rosen, Cop Show.